Here I'm going to work two at the same time. Reason being is because I want my 42, 43-year-old colt to kind of teach this guy a little bit about moving out and listening to me and paying attention to me. So, and I have my colt tied around to the back ring on his saddle. There, good. I can just keep them going, rolling around. Because Nikki's tied on the left side, he's only able to turn to the left at this point. So I'm gonna go and switch his bridle tie. Good boy, Nikki. Good boy. This is a big thing. Rico letting me step next to him while I'm coming from the center has been kind of hard for him. So that's exciting. But so there's many different ways of starting a colt. Number one, it's really good to notice when you are able to move faster with one. Like this bay horse here, he's really been pretty darn easy. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Nikki's telling him you gotta ooh. Good boy, Nick. Yeah. So he's paying a little bit better attention to me than he has in the past. So I'll ask Nikki to go. And I'll ask to lope. Good. What's your lead, Nick? So Nikki was correct in the front, but incorrect in the back. So I always want to encourage correctness, especially in leads. Good boys. I'm going to let him take this and lick and all this stuff. Okay, now we're going to go to the other way. Good boy. Nikki, not playtime. Nikki. I'm going to push Nikki off him. Say, ooh. Ooh. Oh, Nikki's not paying attention, so I'm going to send him back out. He didn't win on that one, but Nikki wants to play, not be serious, so I'm going to get after him. Ooh. Still not paying attention. So I'm going to drive him. This is good for people to see. So if they're, ooh, good. If they're not paying attention, oh my gosh, stupid camera. I'll start over. Put the camera here. I'm going to send them out again. And Nikki switched his lead. Rico took his lead. Ooh. They both turned away, so I want to discourage that by putting the heat on. Good boys. I use my body language for that. I'm going to send him off. Nikki's already going off. So they turned into the fence, so I'm going to switch to the direction. Nikki still wants to play. Get after him for that. And then, oh, good boys. I like that they both kind of stopped on their own. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video because my husband's. Okay, so we got the tarp to sack him out with, which he could not really care much about it. He does want to run over my camera though, for some reason. So there's his butt. So I'm gonna just flop this tarp around, which it makes it really hard when the wind's blowing. But it also makes it more messy that way as well. So I'm gonna ask him to switch directions and flop this tarp all the way around. This is my first time doing this to him. Up. I'm gonna work on my leading. So basically, when I'm working with a colt, I'm trying to find all the spots that are sticky while progressing forward as they can handle it. And this colt's pretty easygoing, well bred, just kind of a good kid, good citizen, I guess you'd say. So I'm gonna ask him to move with this tarp on him. He's stuck, which is fine. I'm just gonna help him move. There we go. Good. And he's kind of tight, so I'm just gonna wait until he can get a little more okay with this. I got my pinky pointing to my pony. I'm just gonna flop this around. I really don't want it to fall off of him, so I'm gonna readjust it. And I'm gonna shake it. And I think I'm beating a dead horse with this. Good boy, licking lips. I don't know that the camera's getting any of this, but I'm gonna change the setting on the camera and do his right side. Okay, so started the camera over. Not sure how much we missed, but good boy, Nikki. Good boy, Rico. Ooh, ooh. You'll notice I put the flag in front of him if they're not thinking about stopping when I say whoa. The camera. Again. Fighting with this camera is gonna make things a little difficult. Let's see, yeah, not following me. Oh my hell. Okay, my camera got a little screwy there. But as you can see, he doesn't care about the ropes on the ground. That's from the work I did with him the other day, 2 days ago. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a big loop. Now, take in mind, this colt's super gentle, so I don't have to hold his lead rope, but I would hold their lead rope. Like I said, this guy's pretty darn gentle. You would think that I've done this with him, but done it once, and he ended up good. So yeah. So I'm gonna ask him to step into that rope. And remember, everybody, my Hondu needs to be pointed to the sky on this. I want to put this where I'm gonna have a saddle. Slide this down, and tighten my saddle. And he's pretty good with that. I know he's pretty good about the plank, but I'm gonna check it again. See if he's got a little tickleness there, but not too much. Oh, and I'm just tickling him with it. I'm not pulling. Never pull this tight. Just touch him with it. There, he figured that out. So I'm gonna flip this rope over his butt and switch and go to the other side. I just walk him around in between just to get him moving. Gotta take off my sweatshirt because it's awful hot. Wind's blowing, but bud. You notice he's with me the whole time. That's what you want in these colts. You know, he totally wants to be my buddy and he wants to please me. And so I just need to be kind to him because he's doing all the right things. It's when people start becoming unkind and unfair to horses when you get the tightness. Horses are naturally bracy because they're prey animals. So in order to save their own lives, they have to brace against stuff. It's kind of a survival mechanism. So I'm going to ask him to step up. Step up. Good. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And put that on his wither area. And then take this. See my hondu's pointed up. And I'm going to tighten that. And that's pretty good. Tighten it again. Good. Tighten it again. Good. So we're going to check the flank area on this side. I'm going to tickle him with that. Tickle him with that. Oh, he's a good boy. He's a good learner. And that was good enough. Good enough for that. Okay, so we did the tarp. We did the rope. Now we're going to get to the saddle. Now I'm going to catch Rico, which he pretty much caught me. So I'm going to catch Rico. And bud. He's back enough as I'm putting the halter around his neck. So I'm going to ask him to, I'm going to step to his shoulder, ask him to put his head down and put his nose in the halter. And that's getting better. And that's something that doesn't have to be perfect right at the get-go. It pretty much will build to being a good deal. So I'm going to first check him out with the flag and see if he remembers the nice flag. Yes, he remembers. The nice thing about these red is that they learn things pretty well. He's a little sore. He got trimmed the other day. Switching directions. Good. Good. And here he remembers nice flag. Nice flag. And he wants to be right on top of the camera. I'm going to push him over. Push him over. Good. And switch sides, which ideally you should be able to only step one step out of your circle to get him to switch sides. I'm going to switch sides. There we go. Like I said, he's a little foot sore from having no foot care to having foot care. Ooh, good. Okay, now I'm going to grab some other things to torture him with. Now we're going to do the saddling part. I have a little kid saddle I use. I got my blue saddle pad. I'm just going to swing it at him and find those tickle spots. I know he didn't care about the tarp. I'm paying attention to those ears, making sure that they're feeling pretty loose, keeping an eye and an ear on me. Now, if you ever find yourself where you're between the fence and your horse. You want to get out of that. Hey, hey, attention to me. Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and take the saddle, which is fairly light kid saddle. And he's kind of twitchy. So I'm just gonna swing, 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 over, swing, over, swing, over. I'm gonna take them both off. And now I just realized I have a big Bertha gill girth on, so I gotta go get a new cinch. So unprepared. I'm gonna come back here and get my horse, which he kind of, when I approach him, he kind of lifts his head and neck and sinks back on his hocks a little bit. Not too bad, but enough. So I'm gonna ignore it. If I make a big deal out of it, if I bring up the pressure for any reason, it's just gonna give him more cause to worry. So, we're gonna just swing this saddle up. And he's pretty good. He doesn't care about that. Tilt his nose this way. Take the saddle off. And you notice he's just standing here. And I'm between the fence and my horse. When we move out here, he had pretty good sticky feet, so I didn't worry about it too much. As you can see, I'm an old lady, so I huff and puff quite a bit. And I don't carry saddles very ethically correct. So he just don't care about that. So I'm gonna check my cinch length and go ahead. Now, if the colt, a lot of colts are just super duper bothered about this whole process, and this colt just isn't. So that tells me that I can move forward with him. Plus, I had a surcingle on him, and he did really good with that. I know I can move his feet, not worry about him blowing up. And we just did that rope work. I've been reaching underneath with my left hand. Again, you want to be able to look back at your hind feet. Now, like I said, this colt is not a typical colt. He's pretty gentle. He's very much well bred, which puts that mind on him, I feel. So I'm gonna tighten that up a little bit. I'm sorry you guys can't see it, but you can see his mannerisms. He's paying attention to me. Here again, I'm gonna reach back and I'm gonna grab my back cinch that's hanging down. As soon as he's good, done walking, moving his feet. Much rather them want to move their feet than me making them move their feet. So I'm gonna step him up here, step him up there. Good. Good. And then I'm gonna take the cinch and I'm gonna tighten it up a little bit. He's got a little hump in his back. So I'm gonna ask him to step around. Good. And step around there. This is another spot a lot of people kind of skip the steps with, is walking them off when they're saddled rather than taking off their halter and just yawing them away. And you slowly tighten that cinch rather than just tighten it all in one deal. Tally, get out. So, looking pretty good to me. Gonna switch directions a few times here. Like, I get them walking around with the saddle, then I'll get them trotting a little bit, and then I'll let them out. There. Good boy. Camera's falling. Good boy. Oh, seriously. Only a horse like this I could be this floundery with and unprepared. There. Good boy. And you just ask for a little bit. You just take a little bit. Just take a little bit. Sticking his butt in your face. Now my camera's stuck on diesel. So I'll come around here. Send him out this way. He's stickier on this side, tighter. I'm gonna turn the heat up. There. Good. That's all I wanted. All right, now we're stuck on someone else. So I'm gonna go ahead and think he's all checked out and okay with all this. So I'm gonna go let him be out and free. He's gonna wanna follow me, and I'm gonna keep an eye on him because I don't want him to jump over the top of me. So I'm gonna ask him to go out here. And my pad's crooked. Wow, this is a bad. Good. Good. Good boy. Look at that sloppy saddling. Wow. Good. Ooh. Yeah. You're a good boy. You want to go that way? Oh. Ooh. There he thought about doing a little bucky, but he worked himself out of it. Like I said, good mind. He's a son of Catsmarata. His name is Rico Suave. There. Good boy. Okay, now we're gonna do some unwinding exercises. And again, I'm not super worried about him not putting his head super duper soft in the halter, because that comes with time. So I'm gonna check him with the saddle and the flag. The saddle and the flag. Check him with the saddle. Oh, look at that pad. Wow. Get him moving. He's wanting to have sticky feet. Now, this is where if I would ignore this, this is going to come out later and it can turn into a bucking horse. So we don't want those sticky feet. So I'm going to do some exercises to get him to move out a little bit better. Putting the tarp out here. I'm going to get him up there. Good. Good. Free up his feet. Good. Good boy. Okay, we're gonna go this next way. Oh. So most colts, I wouldn't pick up my tarp first. I would pick up my lead rope first. But with this colt, he can handle it pretty well. And I'm just flopping this tarp all around. I know he's good with ropes around his legs, so I don't have to worry about that. Worked with him on that. This is the first day of tarp work. Good. I'm gonna try to get his feet to free up a little more. Nikki? No. Nikki's gonna knock over the phone. Get back. You don't need to be involved, buddy. So then, if I know he's good about this tarp, then I can work my way up to the saddle pad in the saddle. But before I do that, I'm gonna go to my rope work again and check out his cinch area and his flank area. So I'm gonna stop the video, go tie up my other horse, and see you back here. Okay, I give up on my pivio, so I'm gonna have to do this with my third hand because I've got a lot of good things here. And if I was worried about that pad sliding, I would totally fix it, but I'm not. It's in his saddle's on. He's got a good back, good weather, good boy. Special actions. Good. I'm gonna drive at his hip. Good. Good. Okay, so the next exercise I would like to do is, Brian Newbert taught me this. You put the lead rope over their head, over the saddle, over the cantle, around their butt. You're gonna flip it, and you want a little bit of a long lead rope, and then I'm gonna pull on that rope and bring his head around. And I'm not constantly pulling, I'm just standing here with the same kind of pressure. So, and they lick, and they lick. And this bugger is smart. He's a little head shy, I'm not sure why, but he's putting his head down for me to put the rope on. I'm gonna swing it over, put the same pressure on. There, good boy, good boy. So now I'm gonna do it the other way. So, put it over his head, over the cantle, over the butt. And okay, so some colts have a really hard time with this, and you have to really work hard at it. So I would suggest that you stay using enough pressure to make a point, but not too much pressure to scare your horse. You want them to where they're doing their circles with